Hi, I'm T.R. Edwards, principal at River Valley High School, and here we are today for another spotlight on River Valley High School. Today, what we'll be focusing on is our Freshman Foundations program, and with me here first today, I have Brent Smith and Maddie Young, which Brent Smith is a teacher and a Freshman Foundations teacher at River Valley High School, and Maddie is a senior at River Valley. Before we get started, I do want to say a few thank yous, though. Of course, I want to thank Dr. Michelle Johnston and her continued support and partnership with River Valley High School and Gallatin County local schools, the television staff here, and everything that they do to help us out and work with us, and Mr. Jude Myers, Superintendent of Gallatin County local schools, and continuing to open up doors and providing us with an opportunity for a television show. So anyways, going back to Brent and Maddie, Mr. Smith, if you would tell us a little bit about yourself and what brings you to River Valley.
My name is Brent Smith. I have been at River Valley for 5 years now. I spent 7 years down the river at Racine Southern. I've coached countless sports, but I come from Northwest Ohio up by Bowling Green State University, where I got my degree in education. I've taught world history at River Valley for 5 years now, along with psychology and sociology.
Okay, and Maddie, you're a senior here at River Valley High School, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Maddie Young. I'm a senior at River Valley High School. This is my second year as a freshman mentor, and in the future I hope to major in psychology.
Sounds great. And Maddie, you've been at River Valley all 4 years, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, today what we'd like to talk about is our Freshman Foundations program. And to give a little background on that, we started that in fall of 2014, and that was a program that Mr. Jude Myers had worked with in previous districts he's worked in. And it's a freshman transition program that hopefully provides successful opportunities for freshmen as they transition from a middle school into the high school. That program, the Freshman Focus, was brought to us by Linda Romano, like I said, in fall of 2014. And the framework provides lessons and a structure for guiding freshmen through those first few months and then that first year. So we started the structure at River Valley High School, like I said, in fall of 2014 with 8 teachers. I do want to emphasize that those weren't just freshman teachers. Many teachers from across 9 through 12 stepped up to form those groups. Mrs. Dama Schultz, she's our 9th and 10th grade school counselor at River Valley. She helped to coordinate these efforts with the teachers, mentors, and the student groups. In each one of our student groups, like I said, we had 8 different groups, 8 different teachers, and each group had around 15 to 18 students per group of freshman students, just freshmen. They met each day of the week during study hall time, which is in the middle of the day. Paired with each teacher and those 15 to 18 students was 1 to 2 11th grade students and 1 to 2 senior students. Those 11th and 12th graders worked as mentors throughout the program. So, if Mr. Smith, you were there for that first year whenever we were working with Freshman Focus. Can you tell us a little bit about what that overview of that program was?
Yeah, the ideal behind it came really from the idea that we pull a lot of kids from 3 different elementaries. They go to our middle school, and then they go to our high school, and that transition can be quite difficult. So we wanted to implement a program that would allow that transition to be easier, because if that's not done properly, or that transition is rough, I guess you would say, it can lead to issues or shortcomings in their upperclassmen years, their junior and senior year. So we try to establish a program to help us in that transition, and I think that's why it is important, because that transition from freshman year to high school can be quite difficult.
Right, and it's really important that they hit the ground running with a good solid start as freshmen to start off, even if they maybe had some rough years in middle school, that they can start off on a fresh foot and start their high school career positively.
Agreed.
Right.
And that's what we tried to do. So it started off with a training program where us 8 teachers and Ms. Schultz and yourself, we were kind of in we were learning just what this freshman focus was. We had lesson plans, and then we focused on how to read those lesson plans and focus on a single goal for that lesson. The second day of that training, 2-day training, we brought the mentors in, very new to them. It wasn't something that they were accustomed to, taking a leadership role kind of in a classroom per se. So we instructed them on how to read the lessons and really how to get students engaged in different activities, kind of get them out of their comfort zone and those type of things.
And different than many freshman transition programs, you know, a lot of schools have open houses or things like that, but this one, you mentioned that there was the mentors in there, and that was kind of a key piece that was different than a lot of other transition programs.
Yeah, I think it took a little time for them really to buy into this idea of freshman focus, and later we call it Freshmen Foundations. But you really saw during orientation them start to have fun with the activities, really have these 17, 18, 19-year-olds interacting with 14 and 15-year-olds, which is not done in a normal high school setting. So it really was a nice thing to see, but it was a process. It wasn't just overnight where that occurred.
That first year in fall of 14, did you see the upperclassmen that were serving as mentors? Did they buy into the program?
I think there was buy-in, but I think there was just a hesitation on really what is their role in this program, how much can they do, how much can they say, and kind of where they should be. And by the end, you really saw them buy in. Those juniors of the first year, the following year when they were seniors, it really started to, that's probably where you really saw the growth of our students.
Okay. So orientation went well that first year. Whenever you were asked to be a freshman-focused teacher, there wasn't a lot of information given at that point. So what made you decide to go ahead and get on board and become a Freshman Foundations teacher?
I teach 7 sections of courses at River Valley, 5 of which is Freshman World History. So I wanted to be one of the first faces they saw when they come to this new building, much bigger building, with these intimidating, older teenagers walking around the room. Well, hey, there's Mr. Smith. I can ask him a question. Hey, there's Mr. Smith. He'll help me out. So I wanted to make sure that they knew a face. They saw me, every day through our schedule, and just really they were familiar with me, and I was familiar with them.
Are you one of those friendly faces, Maddie?
Yes.
So freshman focus, and I keep saying freshman focus and freshman foundation, so obviously it's changed throughout the years. What prompted that change for this year?
Yeah, over the course of the 3 years, Linda, who we worked with Freshman Focus, which is the label of her program, we found it very interesting, and there was a lot of good aspects, but it was a very broad umbrella category that sometimes didn't feel like it fit our scenario. So myself and some of the other teachers got together, and we kind of thought, well, maybe we can put something together. And then we came across a book called The 7 Habits of Effective Teens. Had a lot of neat obviously habits in there that we wanted to pass on to our program, so that started to take the structure of what this program was going to turn into. And we thought by the teachers designing the lessons and the students having say in those lessons, we really thought we could take ownership and give it a little bit more guidance towards River Valley specific versus this kind of broad overview that Freshman Focus was. And we came up with a very similar name, Freshmen Foundations.
So it's very important for you to have that structure from Freshman Focus, and then you just kind of modified it and made it River Valley-ish.
Yeah, I mean, we took what Linda gave us as the foundation, if you will, no pun intended, and we worked with that and this 7 Habits of Effective Teens to really develop our own program this being the first year of us doing that, I think you'll see maybe even more growth in next year and the years to come. But it really allows us to buy into the lessons we're instructing them in.
So you said that the big transition from Freshman Focus to Freshman Foundations was the incorporation of the 7 habits of highly effective teens.
Yeah.
What do you see? Those are habits that that freshmen need.
Yeah, there's 4 that always stick out to me. Now, granted, there's obviously 7 of them. But the 4 that I really like is a proactive approach versus a reactive approach. So basically take ownership of things that are happening. Begin with the end in mind, so it's goal-oriented decision-making rather than just spontaneous decision-making that we know teens are capable of doing. Think win-win scenarios where basically both parties can come out in the positive rather than just a win-lose situation when decision-making is done. And then the last one, this sharpening the saw. I think everybody, teenagers, teachers, administration, even our, everybody's parents, it just take a moment, breathe, relax, do the things that you enjoy, and I think sometimes students are pushed so hard they don't take that moment, and I really like that habit is in there.
Right. Well, it sounds like we've had some good growth, and definitely from leadership of teachers like you and students like Maddie. Hopefully we'll have that to continue to grow. Mm-hmm. So Maddie, you've experienced this both as a freshman and as a mentor now. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience as both a freshman and as an upperclassman?
Well, as a freshman coming into the high school, it was really intimidating because I didn't have any older siblings that had previously went through high school to give me tips or guidance. But once I got to the high school and had freshman focus there was upperclassmen to tell me, what to do and how to get through high school.
Okay. Is there something you remember from your freshman focus year that stands out?
Just that they made me feel a lot more welcome. I was very nervous.
Okay. So just a welcome. You knew that every day whenever you went to freshman focus that there was somebody in there you knew and could look at.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. So now you've kind of come 360, as a freshman and now as a mentor. And is this your first or second year?
This is my second year as a mentor.
Okay. So this is 2 years in. That's great. Now as a senior, how have you seen the program grow?
It's a lot different. My first year as a mentor, since it was freshman focus, it was a lot different than Freshmen Foundations, and the lessons weren't as geared towards our classes specifically as they are now.
So do you feel like this year you have more freedom and to do some maybe different things and make it really more applicable to the students that you're working with?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. As a mentor, how did you work with teachers? Because you're saying that, well, first of all, let's start with this. What really is your role as a mentor?
Just to guide the freshmen through high school and give them tips, not only teach them things, but to tell them how to get through high school and not be afraid to try new things.
So with the Freshman Focus or Freshman Foundations teacher, you're kind of like a co-teacher with them?
Yeah.
Okay. So as a mentor, how do you work with teachers and other mentors to develop those lessons?
We meet as a whole once a week, and we brainstorm ideas and try to fit ideas that will go with all of our freshmen and not just, one class specifically.
Who do you meet with once a week?
It's usually one teacher runs the meeting and all the other freshman focus classes.
Okay, all right. As a mentor, what's one of the most important aspects of this role, do you feel, as a mentor?
Being able to connect with the freshmen is really important to me because I know I needed that when I was a freshman too.
Okay, so maybe be a role model and give them guidance.
Yeah.
Did you, as a mentor, ever have freshmen come up to you and ask you questions that maybe they felt comfortable?
All the time.
What advice would you give if there's somebody out there watching and they would be interested in being a mentor, they think it's a valuable thing to be a mentor to freshmen, what advice would you give them?
To not treat this like it's a chore and to honestly connect with your freshmen and not push them aside.
Great. Well, I personally want to thank you for serving, both of you for serving, but definitely thank you for working with that next group of students, and hopefully you inspired some of them to be mentors as well. So again, I'm T.R. Edwards. I'm principal at River Valley High School in Bidwell, Ohio, and I'm here. We're with Brent Smith and Maddie Young, and we are talking about the Freshman Foundations program at River Valley High School. Hi, welcome back. I am T.R. Edwards, principal at River Valley High School in Bidwell, Ohio, and I am here with Brent Smith and Maddie Young, as well as Tessa Queen and Lindsay Abbott, talking about the Freshmen Foundations program at River Valley High School. So if we could, please, we'll let Mrs. Queen and Miss Abbott introduce themselves. Mrs. Queen?
Hi, my name is Tessa Queen. I have worked at River Valley for the last 6 years. I am a high school math teacher, 10th through 12th grade, and I have coached volleyball a couple of those years and been a Freshman Foundations mentor for the last 3 years.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Abbott. I'm a freshman at River Valley High School. I'm involved in cheerleading, Beta Club, Leo Club, Student Council, yeah.
All right. So hopefully we can talk a little bit about Mrs. Queen, your role as a Freshman Foundations teacher, and then Lindsay, your role as a freshman this year, and how that program has helped you. So Mrs. Queen, let's start with you. You weren't in fall of 2014, where we talked with Mr. Smith earlier about where we started from. You weren't a Freshman Foundations teacher that first year, but you hopped on board the second year because of an opening with a teacher that had retired. Tell us about why you chose to be involved with that program.
There were several reasons why I chose to. One of those reasons was that as an upperclassman teacher, I wanted students to be able to see what it's like outside of their normal teachers. I also wanted to potentially see that student for 3 years, so getting to see them in that freshman year was very influential for them. Also at the time I was a freshman volleyball coach, so being able to see them not only within the school but also on the court, I could make an impact in their lives, both in school as well as in athletics.
And I know as a building principal, it's really nice for whatever grade level student to walk down the hall and have a familiar face standing outside of a classroom and start making those connections early, not just with the teachers that they have. What impact have you seen Freshman Foundations have on freshman students?
Especially in the beginning through orientation, many students come in and it's a new surrounding, it's a new building, it's new teachers, they're not sure how to interact with each other. So it is great to watch them evolve over the program and see them go from shy and backward to feeling confident and being able to focus more on their studies and less on the logistics of everything.
Right, right. Have you seen that they're just a little more relaxed whenever they come in and comfortable with the building itself?
Absolutely.
Great. And I definitely see that in the students who do come, because all of this takes place before school starts. They have to come in a day before school starts, so definitely an advantage. What Mr. Smith talked earlier about some changes and growth in the program, and I know as a teacher and you also as a teacher in the program kind of tweak things along the way. Any pieces of the growth of the program you'd like to speak about?
This year we actually started to take on the program not only as a school staff but the mentors as well. It was nice to have that curriculum starting for those first 2 years, but then into this fourth year we've been able to really take a hold and ownership of it. Watching the students take those past lessons and make them their own allows them to put their own personal spin on it, which I think really ingrains it more into our freshmen.
Right, right. What do you see the importance of a program like this in freshmen? I know you primarily teach upperclassmen, but how do you see this program influencing students as they progress up through?
Well, research has shown that transitions are so important and influential into the future success of any student or of any person, so especially from middle school to high school. With the program itself, I have personally seen mentors go from being shy and reserved to outgoing and outspoken. It really allows the students to get involved in the school and to increase school spirit and school activeness. What I'd like to see in the future is to not only impact our freshmen but to apply it to other categories as far as like our senior seminar or things like that, that we can help our students to better transition not only into high school but into their career, whatever it may be after high school.
Okay. Well, Miss Lindsay, you've been sitting here awful quiet so far. So let's take a minute. As a current freshman, how has Freshmen Foundations helped you so far this year?
I've been able to really open up to my mentors and talk to them about anything. They've helped me so far through high school, and they have been a big aspect of my high school lately.
Were you a little nervous coming into high school?
Yeah, I was so nervous.
Who are your mentors this year?
Maddie Young.
Oh, so Maddie back here.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Jack Farley, Kaylee Carter, and Bailey Bennett.
Wow. So is there a wide variety of personalities and things like that amongst your mentors?
Yeah, a lot.
Has it been a good experience with your mentors?
It has. They've taught me so much and had fun doing it. I like it.
So, like I said, Maddie's one of your mentors. Is there something that maybe she's taught you, or something you've learned from her so far?
Just to not worry about other people or anything. She's taught me just to go about your separate way and ignore everything and be the person you're supposed to be.
Just embrace yourself as an individual. Good. So we had like I said earlier, the Freshman Foundations Day was actually before school started, so you had to start your school back a little early. But would you say that was beneficial for you to come in that day early?
It was. I was really nervous, and I didn't know where anything was really, because it's so big compared to middle school. And some of the activities, we got to walk around as the bell rang and got to go to our classes. So it really helped me know on the first day of school not to walk into a different class.
So you got to go through your schedule. So are there any other activities? So was it just walk around your schedule, or were there other things?
No, we also got to see the solar eclipse happen that day. It was really fun.
I remember that.
Yeah, we got to build our relationship with our fellow classmates and our mentors and do some fun things with them. Was there an element of competition involved too? Yes, we did play minute-to-win-it games, and they were very fun. Right. So as a freshman, and like we talked with Maddie earlier, she was a freshman and then became a mentor. You, as a freshman right now, do you think that we should continue the Freshman Foundations program? Yes, I do. I think it's impacted a lot of lives of freshmen and really helped us out. And I know before that it's helped everybody. Yeah. Do you think that that here in a couple of years you'll apply to be a mentor? I think I will. I think I would like to impact freshmen later and be a great role model to people. And then too, as a mentor, that builds your skills too of working with others and leading, and going back to the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, and then The Leader in Me, which is a book off of that. You can develop your own leadership skills of how you can be a leader, and I would say that you're definitely a leader in the school too. So, Mrs. Queen, where do you see maybe the program moving in the future, or do you have any ideas of where we might go next? Well, we can always improve our program and make it better and better, especially as kids go through the program. They can take their experiences and put their own spin on it to what's most important. I see it more broadening out to other programs such as our senior seminar or through our school counseling programs, of changing it to not only be the transition from middle school to high school, but from high school into whatever post-secondary option our students choose. Right. And again, going back to that foundation that Freshman Focus gave us in those first 3 years, and we've kind of tweaked and developed using that same type of foundation and work on transitions wherever our students are transitioning from one thing to another. Lindsay, anything else that you wanna add about maybe your experience in Freshman Foundation so far? I just really like it. They've done a lot of nice activities with us. They're really fun, but they teach us so much. And I think it's gave me a good transition from middle school to high school. Good. Any stories that you need to tell us about Maddie? I don't think she wants me to embarrass her. No stories now? Okay, all right, that's probably good. So, Mrs. Queen, anything at the end you want to add here before we close out?
No, just that I feel like it's very important, and I just thank you for your support that you've been able to give us as teachers, and that we can just build that impact, that relationship with our students so that we can better impact them for a better future.
Yeah, well, definitely, you know, like I said earlier, Mr. Jude Myers, our superintendent, brought the Freshman Focus program in from his prior experience, and he's been giving us the freedom to kind of develop it and for us to create ownership of it so that we can best serve our students and they become leaders themselves. So, great. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching today. I am T.R. Edwards, principal at River Valley High School, and we're talking about our Freshman Foundations program and the Freshman Transition program. Thank you.